Many thanks for joining us with the news. I'm Shifarao Lako. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has visited Prosthetics Production Center in Addis Ababa. Gushu Melso presents the full account as follows.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has visited the production of the Prosthetic Center for injured members of the National Defense Forces and civilians today. The Prosthetic Center at St. Paul Millennium Hospital has been delivering service for injured National Defense Force members and civilians over century. Currently, the institution is providing artificial limb services for injured National Defense Forces during the law enforcement operation. Solomon Amara, who came from Britain, is participating in this volunteer activity.
The Ministry of Peace invited me to support the National Defense Force. I came from Britain with modern technology. The price of one item is estimated to be £5,000. I am committed to give free service to National Defense Force. Until now, I have identified 10 people. 10 of them will be beneficiaries in due process.
Currently, 18,000 artificial limbs and supporting instruments are being produced by the institute yearly, and a number of citizens are benefited.
You all Ethiopian citizens, please serve your nation ideally, financially, and do your level best. There is nothing more exciting than serving your nation. I came to Ethiopia leaving my family behind for free service.
Now, the long-served institution incurs shortage of inputs and human power. The institution's administrator says the PM's visit helps the institution to get due attention.
Currently,
we are working with the existing materials and the institution's limitation. I hope we will get support after the visit of our Prime Minister. Since 1999, I am very grateful of this service.
The Premier noted that the efforts of volunteers and employees at the Prosthetic Production Institute are commendable.
The House of Federation stated that it is necessary to work hard for the unity and brotherhood of the people. The House organized a joint consultative forum for the neighboring regions of Western and North Ethiopia in Bahar Dar. Emmanuel Jorgi presents the story as follows.
A joint consultative forum of the neighboring regions of Western and Northern Ethiopia is being held in Bahar Dar with the theme Good Neighboring for Our Prosperity. Speaker of the House of Federation Adam Farah and heads of regional states are participating in the forum. Speaking on the occasion, Chief of the Amhara Regional State Agenyo Tashagar said, "We must work hard on our people's unity and brotherhood."
The people of Amhara and Tigray region are brothers. People of Tigray and Amhara are interlaced in culture, language and other aspects. They lived together in harmony for long years and contributed a lot in building a state government of Ethiopia. Today, I would like to thank Dr. Mulu Nega and the interim administration of Tigray region for attending this forum after getting rid of the force that want an unfriendly relation of these two peoples. We have to work on strengthening our unity and brotherhood.
He added that the national consent and commendation over the law enforcement campaign is one of the manifestations of the brotherhood of the people of Ethiopia. The Speaker of the House of Federation, Adam Farah, for his part said the main purpose of federalism is to create one political and economic community, but it has been widely worked on preserving ethnic identity and neglecting social cohesion. He said that they should make Ethiopia to be home to brothers who stand together and prosper.
As it is clearly stated in the preface of the Ethiopian Constitution, the purpose of federalism is to build a united political and economic community. We can achieve this if and only if we could score approximate developmental speed all over the regions concerning peace, good governance and consolidation of democratic system. To do so, it requires a collaborative effort of regional states to strengthen the value of brotherhood between peoples and respective regions. Also working on making a lasting platform for regional governments to discuss, consult and support each other in the journey to prosperity.
Ministers, the Attorney General and regional high-ranking officials attended the forum.
Special Envoy of Ethiopia to the Sultanate of Oman, Ambassador Airorit Mohammed Yassin, has conferred with officials of economic free zones of the country. Ambassador Airorit Mohammed discussed with Chief Executive of Salala Free Economic Zone, Ali Mohammed Tabuk, on trade and investment issues. She briefed the Chief Executive on the growing trade and investment opportunities in Ethiopia. Chief Executive Ali Mohammed Tabuk explained to Ambassador Airorit about working guidelines of free economic zones in the Sultanate and service and factories opening in the free zone. During the discussion, the two have agreed to solidify economic ties between their respective countries and forge cooperation in trade and investment areas. According to the Embassy of Ethiopia in Muscat, Ethiopian diplomatic community in Sultanate of Oman have paid visit to several factories and manufacturing hubs in the free economic zone. Now, the Ministry of Women, Children and Youth Affairs have called on democratic institutions to consider women's role in the upcoming 6th national election. The ministry organized a panel discussion that brought various stakeholders together, overviewing the role of women in election keeping in the 6th national election. Kasam Chane reports.
The Ministry of Women, Children and Youth Affairs has organized a panel discussion where various political parties, civil societies, also people's representatives and stakeholders took part, intended to increase the participation of women in the upcoming 6th national election. Study proves that women make up only 20% of the political party in Ethiopia. The panel discussion under the theme ensuring women's political participation and representation is aimed at increasing women's participation in the upcoming 6th national election. Opening the forum, State Minister of Women, Children and Youth Affairs Mona Ahmed said to sustain the change that has begun at the national level, political participation of women who make up half of the country's population must be increased.
Women should be empowered to make discussion by changing their perception of women at the community level. Women's participation in the House of People Representatives has reached 37.8% in the legislature and 40% in the state legislature. Political parties need to develop a participatory system to empower women in leadership and political participation.
The forum overviewed the study on women's leadership decision-making. It was also stated that women should be represented in the upper, middle and lower levels of leadership. The study explored the extent to which women are involved in the formation of political parties, adding that only 20% of women are involved in founding political parties.
The solution may be to increase participation in informative action and policy formulation. Currently, women's participation in the federal parliament has reached 60%. I suggest this participation should continue in the lower councils and the leadership positions.
Panelists further called on democratic institutions to consider women's role in the upcoming 6th national election.
The National Emergency Coordination Center Multi-Sectoral Response Ministerial Committee held its regular meeting. The meeting reviewed the humanitarian assistance and rehabilitation process in the northern part of the country, according to the Ministry of Peace. During the meeting, reports on the delivery and distribution of humanitarian assistance as well as the rehabilitation process were presented. The reports provided an overview of the ongoing humanitarian assistance and ongoing rehabilitation process in the region. The chairperson of the Ministerial Committee, Peace Minister Mufariat Kamil, gave directions for the continuation of speedy delivery of humanitarian assistance.
Policy Matters is a conversation platform which aims to provide reasoned analysis and context to the activities, reforms, and policies of the federal government of Ethiopia. Exploring various reforms the government is undertaking, the conversation platform aspires to enable nuanced and informed understanding.
Do we have what it takes to transition into a digital economy? What would you say are some of the initiatives the government has taken so that we're not left behind and that we are actually transitioning or transforming into a digital economy?
So for us as a country, moving to a digital economy and making ICT a priority sector, but also understanding the role that digital can have on our national priorities is a necessity, not only to have new sources of growth, but for survival.
How are institutions being empowered, be it at the Walada level, regional level, or federal level, to transform themselves to be digitally enabled institutions?
Mindset is important. We need to build a culture of innovation. We need to build a culture of experimentation. It's all about being able to work together. It's about coordination, it's about collaboration. It's really important to be able to break those silences because we need to have data flowing.